The rain had always fallen softly in Willow Creek, like whispers of a memory that never quite left. Beneath its silver drizzle, two children once built castles of mud and dreams by the riverbank, their laughter the only sound brave enough to echo through the sleepy town. Ethan and Lily. From the moment they met, two barefoot souls chasing dragonflies, it was as though the universe had drawn a quiet circle around them. They grew up side by side, from kindergarten crayon drawings to teenage promises scribbled in ink on the back of old notebook pages. And one evening, under a sky that smelled of rain and summer grass, they made a vow. Sealed not with ceremony, but with trembling hearts and held breath. "Promise me," Lily whispered, her voice barely louder than the hum of crickets. "Promise you'll never leave me." "Never," Ethan said, pinky finger wrapped around hers. "Even if the world ends, I'll find you." For years, they kept that promise. Through high school dances, college letters, and the long, quiet nights when dreams spoke louder than words. But life, cruel and quiet, had its own plans. Lily's father got a job overseas. The day she left, the air itself felt hollow. Ethan stood at the airport, rain soaking through his shirt, holding the small seashell necklace she had once dropped by the river. She smiled through tears as she boarded the plane, mouthing the words, "I'll come back." He waved until she vanished into the clouds. And she never did. The years that followed hardened Ethan. Grief became his only companion, so he joined the military. Not out of patriotism, but out of escape. The battlefield was the only place loud enough to drown her memory. Every explosion, every siren, every quiet night beneath foreign stars. All of it was a substitute for the ache she left behind. He wrote letters he never sent. He dreamed of her voice calling his name, and when he couldn't bear it, he'd open his worn pocket Bible, the one she'd given him, and read the note she'd written inside. "No matter where we go, the stars will remember our names." Years later, after deployments and deserts, he found himself in a bustling European town, a rare weekend off-duty. The cobblestone streets glowed gold under the evening lights. He sat outside a small cafe, sipping bitter coffee, his uniform jacket hanging loosely from his chair. He had no plans, just the quiet company of strangers and the ghost of a girl he could never forget. And then he heard it, a voice, light, familiar, like the echo of a childhood dream. "Lily," someone called from across the street. He froze. His heart stopped. The world, all its colors, sounds, and laughter blurred. He turned slowly. There she was, hair a little shorter, smile a little softer, but eyes. Those same hazel eyes that once saw the best in him. She turned toward the voice calling her name, and saw him. For a moment, neither moved. Time, breath, and sound dissolved. She whispered, "Ethan?" as if saying his name might shatter the illusion. He stood, too fast, his chair scraping against the cobblestone. He wanted to run, but his legs felt like stone. She crossed the street instead, tears already falling before she reached him. When she finally touched him, it was as if the years unraveled in an instant. "I thought I lost you," she whispered. "You did," he said, his voice breaking. "But I never stopped trying to find my way back." They laughed through tears, a desperate, broken laugh that sounded like both apology and forgiveness. She told him she'd moved to this city years ago, that she'd searched for him too. But life, work, oceans, and silence had built walls too high to climb. And he told her about the nights he'd whispered her name into the desert wind. They sat there until the cafe closed, talking like no time had passed. Yet everything had changed. As the stars came out, Ethan took the seashell necklace from his pocket, the one he'd kept all those years, and placed it around her neck again. "You kept it?" she asked, voice shaking. "It's all I had left of home," he said. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She reached for his hand, and for the first time in years, neither of them let go. Later that night, they walked by the river that ran through the city, its waters shimmering under moonlight, much like their old river in Willow Creek. He turned to her. "Do you still believe the stars remember our names?" She smiled through tears. "They didn't forget. We just stopped looking up." He kissed her, soft, slow, the way you kiss someone you've loved across lifetimes. And in that moment, every vow they'd ever made was kept. Because love, real love, never ends. It just waits for the right evening, the right street, the right whisper of a name to come back home.